we can change up, whatever. But that's on for now, and we're getting voice waves, so I'm assuming you can hear us.
All right. So I guess a good way to start this is when you first asked me to do this with you.
You asked me, but yeah, sure.
Did I ask you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I thought it was your idea.
And then I was like, yeah, 100% we're doing that, and I nagged you ever since.
Oh, okay. All right. So the idea is when generally when there's two people together, you're like at a pub, 2 beers in, you have this conversation, this flow, and it's really good. But you talk about a varied amount of topics that you have a strong opinion on, but you're completely uneducated about.
Yeah.
Right?
You've thought about this already.
I have. And that's the basis for this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
We obviously have expertise in certain subjects.
Yeah.
But that isn't what we want to talk about. We just want to talk shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So trying to steer clear of the stuff that we actually know what we're talking about and have an opinionated discussion on the stuff we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah. And I'm sure,
which is what we do in social setting anyway.
Yes. Yeah. Like the amount of time that I spend thinking about things that I really should just research.
Yeah.
Is ridiculous.
Yeah. And the amount of times that I take what I'm told as gospel without doing any further research at all.
Well, the amount of times that you've told me something that I've taken as gospel and then later being like, I don't even know if Steve really knows what he's talking about or if he's just said that to appease my questioning.
Yeah, quite often I'm talking out my ass, which is fun.
Alright, so you've got these beers that we're going to drink today.
So I thought that a good, I guess, segment that we could do weekly would be like trying a different beer. So this is my favourite beer ever. So this is James Squire Swindler. It's a tropical ale. I try and liken it to the 150 Lashes, which is what like most people drink, I guess, out of the Squires.
Yeah.
And I guess the reason I like it is I find it a little bit less punchy. Like some of the pale ales I really like. They're the kind of thing that you can drink, like maybe 2 of them, and then they get a little bit too fruity for you. Like this is pretty fruity, but it's really sweet as well. It doesn't have that like that much of like a punch in the throat kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought we would try a different beer every week. Like maybe you can bring a beer next week that you like, and then
you just want me to buy beers.
Yeah, exactly. Cheers. First podcast.
Yeah. I actually do like that.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Do you know what's my favourite beer?
What?
Probably like a Wild Yak. And this is like very similar.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, this is like probably a little bit lighter than that.
Okay.
So like a Wild Yak's probably like a slightly darker beer.
And I'd say I like beer.
Yeah.
But to someone who's like actually into beer, like I just recently came back from Canada.
Yeah.
And people there are really into beers.
Yeah.
I don't know any.
No, and beer is one of those things that like, I feel like any guy, beer is one of those things that you can sit in a conversation with a group of guys and talk about beer and pretend like you know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, for example, just then I said this is a lighter beer than a Wild Yak, but I actually don't know. Like, potentially Wild Yak is actually a lighter beer than this.
What's the difference between a tropical pale ale and a summer ale?
Oh, and a summer ale. Yeah, still don't know.
Because Wild Yak is a summer ale.
Is Wild Yak a summer ale?
I think so.
So what's Fat Yak?
Fat Yak is their
Wild Yak
flagship lager? I don't know. I like Wild Yak as
One
well.
of them's a Pacific Ale.
Oh, sorry. Wild Yak is a
Pacific Ale. Yeah, okay, yeah.
So what's the difference between a tropical and a Pacific Ale?
I don't know. Good question. I probably should have looked it up.
Also, what's a golden ale?
Again. The thing that I like about the Squires is they've like started doing this like if you look on the side they've got like that like the quench to savor sort of thing, like so their really really dark beers are like a long way up the line towards savor, so that's like their stouts, like they've got a stout which is all the way up there, and then like you got these which are like what you drink by the pool when you like get a 6-pack in summer, like you just sit there drinking these.
Yes,
because they go down really easy.
Yeah.
I feel like you're hydrating yourself rather than feel like you're drinking
Well,
a cup of milk.
That's not something that you are actually doing, hydrating yourself.
No, not at all. Although, this is another one of those things, I don't know whether if I just have come to believe this, but beer is like 70% water, so I don't really understand why.
Well, I'm training today. So
yeah. Oh, so I'm training after this.
So it's probably not the smartest.
I've got a squat, but that's right. Well, yeah, I sort of thought that, but like, I don't really think that 2 beers is ever going to be that like...
2 beers?
2 beers. I'm having 2, I'm not having 1.
Excellent.
But yeah, I've never... That's actually a good question for you. Like, I know we said we'd steer sort of clear of training-related stuff, and I'm going to go straight back to it. But like, do you think, not like training while you're under the influence, obviously, but do you really think that alcohol has that much of an effect on like gains or recovery time and that sort of thing?
I think it does.
Yeah, you do? Or do you think it's partially placebo effect? People convince themselves of
There is probably a bit of that too. But there is a definite decrease in performance if you're dehydrating yourself, if you're basically fighting off poison.
Yeah.
While you're under the influence. That being said, like, this is probably a terrible podcast when you're like burping constantly. That being said, like, when people, when you drink, and then like the next day, you're sort of like, oh, training's not going to be that good. So you don't have an expectation of performance.
Yeah.
And then you may perform well.
Yeah. So I've said this to people a couple of times, and like I have mates that say it to me all the time that they play best, like they play game of rugby best, for example, the day after they've had a big night. So they go out on a Friday, then they go out hungover on Saturday arvo and they play really, really well. Yeah, you're right. Maybe not the best idea. But and then myself as well, I have a habit of like PBing stuff at the end of like a big weekend.
Yeah.
Like I'll have like a Friday, Saturday drinking, and then just Sunday to recover, where I just feel sorry for myself all day, and then come in Monday morning or Monday arvo and like PR my squat. Like when I hit that front squat PR the other day, that was like a 10 kilo PR after like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday bender.
And that was the 160? Yeah. But how much do you think you might have hit if you didn't?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, maybe. And the other thing is like, as a general rule, like when I'm going for a 1RM, it's the end of a cycle where I should be PRing anyway.
Yeah. I don't know if this phone's turned off or if Anchor's still...
It seems like it's still recording on the top.
Okay, it's just the screen's turned off. Okay,
yeah,
cool. We're
Sweet.
Still going.
Yeah.
Guys, we're working on some bugs, obviously. We don't know how well everything's going to work or not work. Yeah. This has gone down way too easily.
Yeah, they're good.
I get why it's called tropical. I can get this sort of fruity flavor from it.
Yeah.
Are we going to dissect these beers as they
We
come
can.
in?
Yeah.
Okay,
I feel like we should know more about what we're talking about.
I'm just going to tell people what I taste.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take a sip now. Beery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's my feelings as well. But I just find it light. Like when you drink like a really classical Aussie beer, like a VB or a Tooheys New or something, like you find
I don't drink those
okay,
beers.
you don't drink it. But even when you drink so you drink Asahi, right? You drink heaps of Asahi. Like when you drink an Asahi or something, it feels a lot heavier in your mouth. Yes. Like this feels really light.
Well, but the problem is, so this is like a nice beer that I think I could drink a lot of.
Yeah.
But do you remember when we had that coaches meet up here and I had all this Miller Lights?
Yeah, the lime.
And I was like, this is really tasty.
Yeah.
But you drank a few of them, you're like, actually...
Yeah, not so much anymore.
Yeah.
See, whereas these never really get like that. But in saying that, I've also drunk a fair few of these now, so like maybe
Today?
I'm just used to it. Yeah. I feel like any beer, if you push through that stage, they're going to get good again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Is beer your go-to drink?
Yeah. I'll drink beer 99% of the night.
Because something else I don't know a lot about, but I do really like is gin. So
gin?
Like,
Yeah,
I'm a gin and tonic guy, but I know nothing about the quality of gin.
Yeah.
Or anything. I just like drinking it.
And we should maybe go one day. I've been thinking this for a little while. I want to get a bunch of friends to go out to this place, but there's actually a gin bar in the city, and it's got like a gin bar and then a rum bar and then a whiskey bar downstairs as well.
A rum bar?
A rum bar, yeah. And it's like, I think it's called the Barbershop, and like
Do they also do haircuts?
They look like they do. Like that's the
don't.
whole point. Like you go in there and they're all like wearing like real nice top hats with like nice haircuts and like good moustaches and that sort of thing. But they've got like a couple of hundred different gins behind the bar, and they've got like little tasting notes sort of behind each gin, like before you order it. And one of the things that was really, really cool was like I tasted a couple of different gins when I was in there, and like the difference between like a barrel aged gin versus like a just like a regular distilled gin. Like hasn't been sitting in the barrel aging. Like I can only describe it as like a punginess of it. Like the barrel aged one tastes like super heavy. Like sort of like I guess the way that you would describe the difference between like a heavier, like a darker beer and like a really light beer.
Do you like dark beers?
No, I'm not a fan.
I've only recently started getting into them.
Yeah.
Like overseas, I had like a bunch of Guinness and a bunch of dark ales, and they're actually quite nice. Like once you get into it, you can taste like the chocolate and the cocoa. I assume that's what people like about coffee.
Because you're not a big coffee drinker, hey? No. Yeah. See, I drink a lot of coffee. I actually think that I've got this really. I don't think I can do anything halfway.
Yeah, you've got this thing for substance abuse.
Yeah, I've got a really addictive personality. So like, as soon as I started getting into coffee, like there was no like, I'll have 1 or 2 coffees a day. It was all of a sudden I'm having like 5, 6 coffees a day straight away. And then like it's the same like when I very much, today will be tough. Like I'll leave like after having 2 beers and be like, maybe I should just go out and have some more beers after work, which I will do.
Where are you going?
Going to Fiddler. Yeah, do you want to come?
Maybe. It seems cold there.
Yeah, I'm only going for 2 beers at Fiddler. Jamie and Jay are both going. So Jamie and Jay are mates of ours.
Morrissey?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I wasn't going to say his last name.
Oh. Why?
Don't give him publicity.
I love Jay.
Poor bugger needs it.
Can I actually come back?
Yes, you can actually come.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I will definitely come. I haven't seen Jay in ages.
Yeah, come. Yeah, it was like a... well, Jay's going with with Sarah and...
I haven't seen her in ages either.
Yeah, come. Like, it'll be me and Jamie sitting in the sports bar, and then like we'll go say go date, and then probably Jay will come join us for a beer or 2. See, the problem that I have is last time me, Jamie and Jay went to the Fiddler to have 2 beers and go home, we all left our cars there, and I didn't leave until close.
What time does the Fiddler close?
3.
No lockout laws out west.
Yeah, no, it closes at 3 everywhere, but you're not allowed to get. You can't still lockout laws here. You can't get in until after 1. Here's a question for you. So do you know? So I've got a couple of friends that go out to Oxford Street a lot, and they were saying that. Yeah, I know. They were saying that. No, seriously, shut up for a sec. No, I got a couple of friends that go out to Oxford Street a lot, and like they were saying that out there, like at this particular bar that they go to, like people generally get there at like midnight, say, which is fine. That's before the 1 o'clock lockout, but there's no close time. Like they'll still be there in the club drinking until like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Like, but that's
8 a.m.
8 a.m. Sorry, yeah, but that's like the heart of the city, right? So that's got to be.
I think it works in zones. There's certain zones that are above the lockout rules.
Yeah, like I think Newtown is out of lockout rules.
Potentially,
you don't know.
I don't know. And weirdly enough, now that we're recording, I don't want to talk about, I don't want to give an understanding.
Yeah. That's the whole point of this thing, is to give something we don't actually know about. So, okay, here's a good one.
Okay, what do you think about lockout laws?
What do I think about lockout laws? Well, look, my dad and all his mates are cops, right? So, when lockout laws first sort of came out, I was probably fresh 18, when it first started happening, and I was like, this is bullshit, because we used to love jumping around from club to club, so you'd be in at the Cross or in it somewhere in the city or whatever, and you'd go from, if you're in Darling Harbour, for example, you might go to Cargo Bar and then go to Seb's, and then you might want to go finish your night at Cargo Bar again, but you wouldn't be getting there till 1:32, by which point you can't get in anymore. Now that lockout laws, so I had a big dirt about it, and from listening to all the people that were against it, you know how you sort of start to form that opinion just based on the people that you listen to? You start to just adopt their opinion. I started to adopt that opinion of it hasn't changed. They used to have the argument of it hasn't changed the crime rates as a whole, or the fights or the assaults or whatever. They've just shifted to areas outside of the lockout rules.
Yeah.
But over time, after talking to Dad and his mates and stuff, they were saying the statistics are significantly lower since they started bringing it up. So I mean, it's a pain in the ass for people that want to go out.
So it is working?
It is working, yeah. So it's a pain in the ass for people that want to go out and have a drink and have a good time, but the people that are going out, but at the same time, like surely the fact that people aren't getting king hit as often outweighs the fact that you want to go out and have a beer at 2 o'clock in the morning.
How are they measuring the success? Are they saying like violence has reduced at certain periods of time?
Yeah, at peak times, I think.
And when they say that, are they saying that violence is reduced in these specific areas?
Yeah, see, that's where I sort of said, because a lot of people were saying, that was the argument, was that, okay, so the cross has a lot less fights now, and the violence is a lot lower. But has that moved to Newtown, where the lockout laws aren't a thing at the moment? But I feel like it's statewide now. Like, I feel like it's a statewide rule.
Okay.
I mean, again, like, I'm not educated. I don't go to the city anymore, so I don't really care. Like,
when you live as far as you do away, like, you live far away.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know why you'd leave your house.
Yeah, it took me 3 hours to get here for the podcast.
Well, hopefully
I had to take a camel and a boat.
Hopefully we can do the next one at your place.
Yeah, but I think that'd be good. I think we should set up a fire and do it out the back.
It'd be really fun.
And do it at night time. Like, we'll just set up a couple of torches or car headlights or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can see us properly.
I'm down. Maybe we'll do one this weekend. Or next weekend.
Next weekend would work. Yeah. Cool. Can't do this weekend, Father's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I always forget about that until someone's like, so what time are you going to be home today?
Yeah.
And I'm like, why?
Well, what did you get your
Father's
dad?
Day.
Did you get your dad anything?
Yeah, but he wanted trail cameras for around home. So we've got, like, for those who don't know, I've got like 70 acres at home now, and we've got like having issues with foxes and stuff with chickens. So Dad wants to set up trail cameras so we can see their habits.
Lost one.
We've lost 2 now, I think.
Oh.
One was our own dogs though, spastics.
Which dog?
No one was home, so we can't know for sure. But
which one was covered in blood when you got home?
Well, none. But because the chicken had been like torn up a little bit, but it wasn't like
dead yet.
Dead yet, yeah. So they actually thought it was going to live. Took it to the vet, and then it died during the night. But it's a chicken. That sounds so insensitive, but like I've been saying for ages, like you can't name chickens and stuff, because then when they do die, you're like.
I mean, chickens still have like a reasonably long lifespan. Most birds do.
Yeah.
Like how long does a chicken live for?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure chickens live for like upwards of like 7 years. Probably more. Like I've had birds that live for 20 years. So.
Do you? Yeah. You know what's like? I never realised I had this thing. I've never had a massive attachment to pets.
Yeah.
Like I did when I was younger, and then like as I've gotten older, it's kind of like a.
Have you lost a lot of pets though?
Yeah, 2. We lost 2 dogs and a cat.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But
was the cat kind of a relief?
Because they're cats. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But
I'm sorry, Daddy.
No. But I didn't realise how I always like when someone's horse died, like it's such a massive loss to people when their horse dies. Like it's like they've lost a family member.
A lot bigger than a dog. So
yeah, but that
is a massive loss.
Yeah, fuck. But also just like the point where they live for so long. I didn't realise like the lifespan of a horse is like 30 years.
Yeah.
Plus.
The lifespan of a turtle is like 30 years.
Is it? Yeah. Yeah, you don't ride your turtle.
So, animals that you ride or things that you ride,
I feel like you have bigger attachment to
it?
For sure, 100%. Without a doubt.
You know what I would have a huge attachment to if I had one? An alpaca.
Why?
They seem so lovely, and I just really want one.
Don't they spit on you?
Probably, but they would spit on my enemies, not my friends. That's how I feel about my alpaca.
Yeah. You know who... Oh, no, we can't. I was going to say we should, like, eventually get Shannon on, but then I realised that Shannon doesn't talk much, and I was like, probably not.
So I was talking about this yesterday with Jane, because I had like a friend on the podcast, and he wasn't very, like, he's not very... Oh, sorry. So for those that don't know, I have another podcast.
This plug?
This is a plug.
Fuck off.
It's called. But yeah, so I have another podcast, and I was talking to this friend on it, and he's not a big talker, and Jane was like, that's Shannon's like exactly the same.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but me and Shannon have like some decent conversations sometimes. Like I've lived with the guy for.
Yeah. But then did you realise that those conversations are just you guiding something and him saying yes or no?
No. No, he does talk.
Does he? Yeah.
I just don't think he likes talking in public.
So I realised where, you know how I told you the other day that I'd come into some trouble at work with like people using patronising terms? Like
how did you go with all that?
Oh, well, I haven't actually seen her at the gym again yet, and I won't say exactly what it is, like she's not going to listen to it, but I don't want to offend anyone in case someone knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Actually, fuck it. No. Anyway, so there's this woman at the gym that...
Let's go, champ, tell me.
Yeah, exactly. There's this woman at the gym that calls me champ when she leaves. And like, I just find it so patronising. Like, it's so condescending. I don't like it at all. But then I said to Andy, like, I have caught myself calling people buddy lately. Like,
so that's the one I don't like.
Yeah, I know. But you know where I realised it came from? When I was younger, when I was like 16, 17, 18, and hanging out with Shannon all the time.
Yeah.
He used to call me little buddy. He'd be like, hey, little buddy. And that's where it's come from, 100%. So we can actually blame Shannon for my condescending tone when I talk to people.
So yeah, there's a few. The other one I don't like is son. You know,
son.
When older people
like, call you son.
Hey son.
Yeah, and you're like, you know my dad.
It's like older like Sri Lankan people and stuff call people boy.
Boy. Yeah, wow.
And I remember being called boy and being like, hey, I'm a man.
See this beard?
Well, speaking of that, I shaved my beard off.
Yeah, I know.
What?
Yuck.
Like, yeah, okay. So
it's only because like you're my older, fairly well life experienced friend that has the beard. So now that you don't have the beard, I'm like, who's this bitch? Like,
yeah. Well,
fuck off. I'm older than you.
Yeah. So like, I was watching like editing the videos that we took the other day when we were doing jerks.
Yeah. And it upset you looking at yourself.
Yeah, I was like, I really look like a child now again.
Yeah.
And I didn't look quite like a child before. And that freaked me out. And then the second thing is, I was thinking about like, I've been thinking a lot about beards lately. Because obviously you like my beard, I like my beard, and a whole bunch of men like my beard. Women, however, do not like beards.
Yeah, but you also said that like Kush doesn't like you without a beard, and that's like isn't. Like...
Yeah, but she's gone now.
Yeah, you're looking for other women. So Andy's Kush's missus, and she has moved overseas.
Yes.
So
yeah.
Andy's now free. He's on the market.
Yep. Add me on Tinder at whatever. Is that
Andy does not do Tinder, obviously, because he has no idea what he's talking about.
What, you just, you know...
It's just a swipe thing.
Just
swipe,
give me a like and...
yeah.
Give me a like and a follow.
on the Tinderverse. Alright, I'm going to get another beer.
Yeah, I finished mine. So you're the one who's behind.
Well, now we're square.
See. Yeah, anyway, so I've been thinking about this whole beard thing.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like I got sidetracked next.
And how women don't actually like beards, but men like beards. And then I was thinking, how many other things do we do because men appreciate them and women don't? And I have, like, I'm a heterosexual male sometimes. Most of the time. So like
most of the time.
So I think about
barring a few weak moments in my life.
So I think about these things like what we do to appease like our male peers versus what we do for the opposite sex, or for just the people that we want to attract.
What we do,
and in some cases, obviously, that that can be the same sex. I don't really like. I know enough about that to talk about it. Again, this is uneducated opinions.
Yeah, that's treading careful territory for the first podcast. Though.
Yeah. So I've become very aware of my masculinity and how I perceive myself and how I look to other people. And I'm just very, very curious in your thoughts on beards and the way people dress and look. Because I look at you and I'm like, you're quite successful with the ladies.
No.
In terms of I guess attracting them in the first place. See, I have
keeping them around with you.
I have a high retention rate.
Yeah.
I have a high retention rate. If I get one, I can keep them on the line.
Yeah, I have a decent strike rate, but the retention rate is not good.
And that's what I want to improve. I want to improve my strike rate.
Yeah, I'd chew. No. Yeah, so I agree. Like, I've had a couple of girls, like, say, even recently, that, like, so my beard was, like, a little bit fuller a little while ago, and then I shaved it just because, pretty much for that reason.
So you have thought about this?
Yeah, for sure. I think most women appreciate a little bit of stubble. And then, like...
How much is a little bit? Like, because you have a lot more stubble than I do right now.
Yeah, but mine's actually just a lot longer than yours is. Like, it's not... Like, yours is a lot thicker. So, like, you have very short stubble, but it still looks like you've got a fair... Whereas if I cut it as short as that, you'd barely be able to tell I had hair on my face.
So wait...
I think where you're coming from... I think what you're, like, getting at with, like, liking beards and us, like, wanting to grow a beard, for example, I think it's actually, like, an ego point of view. And I think we don't even realise it. I think it's, like, a subconscious ego thing.
Like an alpha thing?
Yeah, it is, 100%. That's why guys like beards, because not many guys can actually grow a really nice beard.
Well, not many Western guys. Not many
Aussie guys.
Not many whiteys.
Yeah. Not many whiteys can grow a really solid beard. So having a really solid beard as a whitey is a big ego thing.
Yeah.
I think if you're the guy at the pub that has a really solid beard, all the other guys at the pub are going, fuck, I wish I could grow a beard like that. Even though, like, maybe to women it's not the most aesthetically pleasing thing, like, to other guys, that it's just the alpha male thing.
Yeah.
Like anything. Like, but I think, like, so going back to, like, the amount of things that we do, like, I
just want to throw it out there that for non-whiteys, for people like me, Schleichen, descent, like, I look at you guys and I'm like, wow, if only I didn't grow hair where I grow hair, that would be nice.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I think, like, we do a lot out of just, like, that pure vanity side of it as well.
Yeah.
Though, like, and I think that comes from, like, even, especially in the environment that we surround ourselves, or especially in the environment that I surround myself in anyway, is, like, fairly athletic, like, really athletic people, like, people that care a lot about their body weight, like, how lean they are, how muscular they are, and that sort of thing. And I can admit, even myself, like, a lot of the time that I spend in the gym is, like, not necessarily just a performance base.
Yeah.
Like, I'm also thinking about the aesthetic side of things, where, like, I've been a fat motherfucker before. I don't want to go back there. So, like,
I miss fat Steve.
Yeah, I know. It's like having two friends, right?
Yes.
But yeah, so I think a lot of it is from, like, a vanity point of view rather than necessarily just a please women point of view. But in saying that, is that where we get, like, our vanity from? Like, so pleasing the opposite sex?
That's what I'm getting at. Like, I obviously, being in the industry we're in, pander to the males that are around me all the time. So, like, we look at our idols that are doing really cool things and we're like, oh, that's who I want to be like, that's what I want to look like, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, naturally we should be pandering to the opposite sex because, like, as an animal, which everyone is, like, you know, what we're doing...
We're designed to reproduce.
Yes,
yeah.
we're designed to procreate, and then we should be, you know, trying to appease the women or the whoever you're trying to attract.
I think that's why we still have, I guess, what I was just calling vanity, of, like, trying to look good, trying to be big, strong sort of thing. I think that comes from centuries or thousands of years ago when that was, like you say, like a procreating thing where women would have been looking for the male that is going to be able to hunt, feed, look after children, like protect sort of thing. And I think that's just so deeply ingrained in, like, our genetics to look for that.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And I think that's why men still, like, as they get older, men still like a big bum, like, and wide hips sort of thing. Like, guys still find that really attractive, and that's just because birthing hips back, like, that's what it was, like, centuries ago. That's what guys looked for.
Yeah.
And then now that's just so ingrained in our DNA to look for those things that there's not really much you can do about it. And there's always people that'll argue and be like, well, I'm not into that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, but you're also in the 10%. Like, you're in the 10% that Darwin should have killed off.
Well, that's another thing to take into account. It's like, how many people do you interact with on a day-to-day basis?
That you're like, how are you still here?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot. A lot of people. Especially like, I'm going to go to training again, but those people that you just can see them walking and moving around and you're like, how'd you not trip in front of a car? Like, you just don't look coordinated at all.
Yeah, like back in the day, a mountain lion
would have killed you.
Or maybe even a fox could have got you.
Yeah. I think technology has like eliminated the whole Darwinism side of things.
Well, it's different now.
Yeah.
Because you can be an alpha in like something that's so down on the physical spectrum.
That's true.
That you're still the top of your field.
Did you listen to that? Is this where you're getting this from? Like that Rogan podcast where he had a guy on that was talking about that? No. So Rogan had a guy on where they were talking about, Rogan was talking about like the alpha male complex and talking about how like himself, for example, would be viewed as an alpha male, like you would be viewed as an alpha male because you can lift heavy shit.
See, I don't consider myself the alpha.
But you are, like other people consider. You're only not an alpha via personality though.
I like beta myself, you know, like
intentionally
into people taking care of me.
People feel sorry for you now and take care of you. Okay, if we take you out of it then, like let's use Joe Rogan as the example.
Let's use you as an example.
I was avoiding that. I was beating around that bush, but anyway. Yeah, like if you look at that as an example, then the guy that was on was talking about how he doesn't necessarily agree that women are looking for that alpha male man, like potentially, and then that's what he was saying that there's like hundreds of different realms that you can be the alpha male in. So like I may, for example, be the alpha male in a gym setting.
Yeah.
When it's like you, me, Shannon, whoever, like that might be the thing, and that's
not necessarily yourself the alpha amongst you, me, and Shannon.
Yes, 100%.
You think you're the alpha?
Fucking oath.
What about Shanny? Shanny's so like
because his personality's too underwhelming for it.
Oh, you reckon?
Yeah,
but maybe
100%.
he doesn't have to say.
He doesn't have to. Like you're right.
Because
Shannon can roll me easy.
He's just like,
that's not the point.
Hey Steve, and then you're like, hey Shannon.
Anyway, that was not the example. You used me, and now you let me put my foot in it. You fuckwit. But the and then him saying like, there's people in other settings where they're the alpha. Like someone may be the alpha in the gym setting, but then you might have someone being the alpha in the social setting who is different to the gym setting. And then because maybe they just have the loudest, most boisterous personality that they come over the top of everyone else, and they seem like the alpha. Because I think that's all the alpha is, right? It's like the social opinion, like the exterior view is really where the alpha gets dictated. Because
I don't agree with that.
No?
I think there is a social undercurrent that the people in the community feel and
but I think that
go for.
Yes, but I think that because of what people see from the outside tends to dictate what will happen within the group as well. Because generally, as soon as you have, as a general sense, you generally have people from the outside influencing what's happening on the inside. So like if I feel like the alpha because everyone outside thinks that I'm the alpha, I've got their backing, which means that even if you actually...
But they're not in the community, so like their backing means nothing, right?
Maybe.
I'm curious because like again, we roll in similar circles.
Yeah.
So if you look at the gym here, who would you say the biggest alpha here is? See, I would say it was Jack.
Okay, I would say it's Jack
outside.
From the outside, but yeah, I would say it's Jack.
Yeah, and you could argue that too, that there's an undercurrent that Jack is like an alpha, but at the end of the day, Jack is like probably doesn't take that step within the community, but from the outside he looks like the alpha.
Yeah, but he's the alpha because he lifts the biggest weights, and that's the...
Well, he lifts the biggest weights. He's a smart dude.
Yeah.
Like we talked about this the other day. He's a really smart dude, so he has sound knowledge of training and how to get stronger without actually having ever had to study that stuff.
Yeah.
So like, you know, people ask him questions.
Yeah.
And rightly so.
So but that's I guess the point that I'm getting at is it's the fact that people ask him questions that
people within the community. Yeah.
People within the community ask him questions that then allows him to have the sense that he's the alpha. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
but I don't know if he'd consider himself the alpha. I wonder.
I think he would.
Yeah.
I think he would pretend that he doesn't, but I think he would.
I'll ask him today.
Like, what makes the alpha? Like, does the alpha just be the person that can roll everyone? Because in that case, like, even though Shannon's the quiet guy in the corner, like, he's gonna fuck Jack up.
Depends.
Nah, he's gonna fuck Jack up.
You reckon?
Yeah, 100%.
Like just in a
Shannon's
fist fight?
quiet assassin. 100%. It won't last as a fist fight for very long. Jack will be up and be like, "Come on, let's fist fight," and then Shannon will be like, "Nah, I'm breaking your legs."
Well, then there's a lot of little quiet people around that, you know.
100% that you just don't know either. Like, that's probably one of my favorite. This is probably one of my favorite videos to see on the internet is like the quiet small bloke getting picked on by the more alpha looking dominating blokes, and then just like absolutely smoking the shit out of them.
Well, do you think that the concept of having an alpha in a community is just like the premise is false? Like, it doesn't happen anymore. There might be people that act like alpha males, but they're not actually. Like, the community doesn't need an alpha. It just needs.
I don't know whether if the community needs an alpha, but I think at least for now there will always naturally be one. For the same reasons that guys still like a big ass. Like, it's just primal.
And what do you? So like the crux of the matter then is what is an alpha? Because like a leader is not an alpha, right? They're not like interchangeable. Like, for example,
an alpha can quite often be the leader, but the leader doesn't always have to be the alpha.
Right, yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's a bit like bourbon is whiskey, but not all whiskey is bourbon. Like, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Do you not know? Yeah,
no, I do.
Yeah,
from Bourbon, Tennessee.
Yes. Yeah, Kentucky. But anyway,
Kentucky, Bourbon, Kentucky, whatever.
But I hope I was right then when I corrected you.
You probably are. Like, I know so little about any sort of geography. Like, that is my Achilles heel.
Yeah. I don't know geography at all. Like, people say that to me. Or people like mention something about their trip to Europe, and they'll tell me, like, they went to Italy, and I'm like, oh yeah, is that on the coast or is that like? And they're like, are you serious? You don't know like where it is? And they'll be like, it's that like little boot. It's a little boot, isn't it? That's what they call it.
Don't drag me into your ignorance.
Yeah.
I don't want people to know I'm ignorant too.
Yeah, so I'm pretty ignorant with that sort of thing. It's just never been something that interests me a whole lot. I want to travel, but like I've never sat down and looked at the fucking map. I don't care.
Yeah, and do you know what the worst is? When someone goes on a trip, they come back with all this newfound knowledge, and they're like, oh, you don't know this. And they make you feel really bad. And you're like, yes, I understand I didn't get to go on your trip. I don't have that kind of money. Yeah. Bitch. Like,
yeah. And also, like, I didn't get to go on your trip, but you're also broke as fuck now, and I'm not buying your beer. So,
that too.
So fuck you.
Well, you're going overseas.
Yeah.
soon.
Actually, I was going to say to you, I had, but now I think I've already booked it. But it's not too late. I can change it around. I was going to do a layover in Toronto on my way back.
Oh, cool.
And I was going to be like, is it Cushing, Toronto, or Vancouver? Vancouver. Well, I could do either.
Oh, really?
It was both options. And I was like, maybe I should spend one night in Vancouver and go say hey to Kush.
You should.
And try some weed.
Yeah, you 100%
from Vancouver. Actually, I was looking at it. So
Kush said she took her parents to the dispensary the other day.
Did she?
Yeah.
That's awesome. They do you know what states it's like in the US that you can actually buy over the counter?
In the US, it's weird because I think federally it's still illegal.
No, it's decriminalized, but it's.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's not. So it's a misdemeanor. I think it's not
whatever
felony
it is.
Or whatever
it's, it is. Whereas in Canada, it's actually just legal, so you can buy it wherever, and then you can also smoke it wherever. So now people are just smoking all over the place. So you're just like, that guy is smoking weed.
Yeah.
And it's like, no one looks around.
So what's the driving under the influence rule?
For Canada?
For Canada?
I have no idea.
No idea? Yeah, see, I have a friend that just got back from Canada. I think I was telling you.
Yeah.
She just got back from Canada as well. And she was saying, like, mobile drug testing and stuff over there like isn't a thing. Like it just doesn't happen. So whether if it's illegal or not, it's kind of a moot point because people don't get caught for it.
Yeah. So I'm very curious because here we have that weird tongue scrubby thing.
Yeah, we have swabs.
Yeah, and like
tongue scrubby thing instead of swab. Okay.
And I got tongue scrubbing for the first time the other day.
Did you? I've never had it.
And it was like a week coming back from Canada, and I was.
You were like, oh fuck, I could be in some shit. You were fine, obviously.
Yeah, I was fine.
Yeah.
And
just waiting for the paperwork to come in the mail.
No, he was like, you're fine this time, but whenever you take illicit substances, gotta be careful. And I was like, but I was in Canada. It was legal there.
Mm. And what did he say?
And it's okay because it's legal under the Water Act.
Yeah.
As long as it's outside of competition.
There's a lot of subtypes there.
But yeah, cops aren't very jovial about that sort of stuff. They're just kind of like, don't do it.
Yeah, it's getting really phased out here as well though. Like for years they've been phasing out the criminalisation of all the I guess the severity of being caught with cannabis over here. Like they've got, don't quote me exactly because I'm uneducated in the topic, but whether if it's 2 or 3 cannabis cautions that you can have, and that's
what if you get caught driving under the influence?
No. You get caught with it.
Yeah.
I think police are starting to realise they're like, we have better fucking things to do than book people for having a couple of joints on them.
Here's a question: is there any incentive for police to book people?
I'm not sure.
Oh, your dad's a cop?
Yeah, I don't think so, really.
Okay.
There's no real incentive. The only incentive is for highway patrol, for example, a funding side of things.
Okay, so they do have targets that they have to hit?
They have targets to hit, yeah.
Okay.
So that's a lot of the time, if someone's down on their weekly target, that's generally when you see a highway patrol car sitting in a spot where they know they're going to get people speeding.
Yeah.
And just kind of being semi-pricks.
Like Sheville Road?
Yeah. Do you mean Skyville?
Shevely.
Seriously? Did you mean Skyville?
Yeah, I did mean Skyville. I was just joking.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Where Shevely National Forest?
Yeah, Shevely. Fuck. So I think when they realise they're down on numbers and stuff, they go run through and pick people up in shitty spots. But that's actually, as far as a numbers game goes, something that I found really interesting. And this is something that I've been told by police officers in the past, is that when they do RBTs and that sort of thing, they're actually, from a statistics point of view, really looking to not catch people.
Really?
And that's because from a funding point of view, if they're not catching people through RBTs, it means the RBT system is working. So if they can get 100,000 drivers through in a week in this one spot and only catch one person, they can be like, well, look, 10 years ago, if we had set up in this spot, we would have caught 30 people. Obviously, the fact that we've got so many more RBTs out there is working. And I think that's the same idea with trying to get more MDTs and stuff out there, is if they can build numbers and it starts to look like the police are doing their job better and it's less of a problem.
Yeah, because it's meant to be a deterrent. It's not meant to catch people, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the same argument as when people say speed cameras and stuff are a revenue raiser.
Yeah, aren't they?
Well, they are, 100% they are. If they raise revenue, people pay fines, right, from speed cameras. But are they also there as a deterrent? They try and guise it under the point where they put them up at accident-prone areas.
Yeah. So
that it deters people from speeding through an accident-prone area. But, for example, is Showground Road, Green Road intersection really that accident-prone an area? There's a 4-way intersection with a bunch of lights.
Showground, Green Road.
And Victoria.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah. Is that really that accident-prone? Every now and then you see it in a spot where you're like, okay, yeah, that's pretty accident-prone. But surely you're looking at...
I think that's a red light, because what happens is people speed from going down Showground and try to beat that light.
Yeah,
and that's what they're getting. I don't think they're getting the Green Road traffic going onto Victoria or Green Road going onto Showground Road.
Yeah.
Because you see it, people still get done on that light for going through the red or for speeding through it.
That light malfunctions all the time as well. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but people...
I don't really drive out that way that much anymore.
Yeah, okay. you'll be turning right from like Showground Road onto Green Road.
Yeah.
Turning right there, and that camera will just flash at like 3 cars going through on the green arrow.
Yeah, I've seen that before, and I thought it was.
And I've written it down in my phone and been like dated it and been like malfunction. Like if I get the letter, I'm gonna have to try and argue it.
Yeah.
But the letters never come in, so they must have some sort of a way of going, hang on, this picked up 4 people in a 3-second period, like what's going on? And
so
check it.
You're not looking for like an international audience with this podcast. We're talking about this.
We really only we really only want people from the Castle Hill, Borkham Hills area that know the particular intersection I'm talking about. Because the speed cameras there are fucked, they just don't work. But yeah, if you are an international audience, get on Google Maps. It's a pain in the ass. And have a look.
It is not worth your while. Do not do that.
Yeah.
Hey, have you watched any like new movies lately?
No, but I do really want to go and see that new Quentin Tarantino film.
What is it
The
called?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I heard that's really good.
I heard it's very good as well. I also heard that you have to be high to watch it.
That's not legal in Australia, so I won't.
But I'm looking for an international audience, so it's fine.
So telling all these Canadians,
go watch that movie high. Yeah.
Well, you know what I really am excited.
But that's Quentin Tarantino. Like his plots are so weird, and like they take such ridiculous twists or movements that you kind of.
I didn't spill my beer. It's okay.
Okay.
I was scared that I was.
Yeah. That you kind of need that creative mindset to be able to see what Quentin Tarantino is fucking doing.
Well, I just live my life that way, so I probably don't have to do illicit substances to get there.
Slurring your words, buddy.
You know what I'm actually very excited to see? Did you see the trailer for the Joker movie?
No, haven't seen it.
With Joaquin Phoenix, also known as Joaquin Phoenix.
No, what's about? Is it about the Joker?
It's like a Joker origin story.
Oh, that would be cool. I do want to see that.
And it looks like it's told from the perspective of the Joker. And I guess for those
that'd be cool to see where the whole story, like especially from like the Dark Knight, for example, like you know how I got these scars.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to see where that came from.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And
it's cool to have the Joker as a protagonist of the story.
Yes. Yeah. Although, what was he in the Dark Knight? Like he's pretty close
to the protagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess.
But is that also okay? If we talk about the Dark Knight, this is probably one of my favorite films of all time.
The Dark Knight is one of your favorite films.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Do you have a top 5? Think about it while you explain this Dark Knight thing you're talking about.
So the Dark Knight, like I think the reason why maybe the Joker seems like the protagonist in my eyes is actually just an overshadowed performance by Heath Ledger, like an overshadowing performance, I should say. Like he just was incredible, right? Like it's one of the best acting performances that like in history.
Do you reckon Christian Bale's pissed about that? Like, fuck the guy.
Like I had the main role and this guy like outshined me. Yeah, probably. Yeah, but also be better. Like the Joker also had more room to be the better actor.
Yes.
Yeah. The Dark Knight, like the Batman, the role of Batman is not something that required a great deal of individualism.
Or acting.
Yeah. That's very true. What are we at?
I don't know. I'll just double check.
Anyway.
What do you want this to be?
I don't know, when we run out of things to say.
Okay.
But I feel like we were running out, but you've brought it back, so that's fine.
It's the experience.
Yeah, exactly. It is the experience. A top 5, The Dark Knight's definitely in the top 5. But mine are like real odd movies. Like if I were to go through and look at films that I've watched, if we were to go just off pure volume of films watched, I think I've watched SWAT more than I've watched any other movie in history with no idea what it is.
No, I'm just wondering why you would watch that.
It's the best movie ever. It's so, I don't know, just like as a kid, like such good action. Like the acting was fairly decent. Like it wasn't horrible. Probably a movie that many people don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like Samuel L. Jackson and it's Colin Farrell. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Colin Farrell. Like awesome movie. Loved it.
And they're 2 great actors.
Yeah, and if it's on sheer volume of times I've watched the movie, that's probably at number 1. But I think my number 1 would have to be the Lord of the Rings films, like as a triple.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I think Kush would agree with you.
Yeah.
She likes the Lord of the Rings a lot.
You're not a fan?
No.
Why not?
They never quite... And it's really weird because I grew up reading a lot of high fantasy. So it's very odd to me that it's not something that I'm into. I think it's because there's no... I love the hero's journey, and it doesn't fit into that.
It chops and changes a lot.
There's no central protagonist that you can really root for.
There is in each individual film, I think, except for maybe the third one. But you're right, like as far as 3 movies goes, it shifts a lot as you go. Like in the first one, Frodo's definitely the central protagonist. In the second one, I think Aragorn is definitely the central figure in that. And then I think in the third one, it's sort of between the two of them.
Yeah, and if you were to ask me like who's my favorite character in
Aragorn.
Aragorn's the
100% has to be. Because Frodo's a bitch.
Yeah, and also like he actually succumbs to the darkness right at the end, right?
Yeah.
Like, literally, Samuel has to cut his finger off to get that ring in the.
No, that's not what happens.
Isn't that what happened?
Nope, Gollum bites it off.
Oh, Gollum bites it. Whatever. Like I forget. It's been a long time. It's not a movie I watch over and over again.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to give it up, right?
Yeah. Whereas the whole point was that he'd be the one that would manage to get it done, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's just another. I don't know. That's just clever writing. Have you ever tried to read the books?
No.
No. Okay.
Have you?
I've tried.
Have you read them?
No.
So then, what's with your indignation?
Halfway. Well, because you haven't even tried. But you get like halfway through the first one, and it's written like Tolkien writes in, well, just because of the time that he was writing, but in really old English.
Yeah.
And it's just hard.
Like Shakespearean English, or like?
Yeah, almost.
Okay.
Like somewhere between the two times. Like it's just very hard to understand when you're reading it.
Yeah.
It's tough, but I'm sure that you would. I just can't get myself through them. And they're already something that you like. If you talk to someone that loves the films and has read all the books, they'll talk about all the stuff that's like any movie. Talk about all the stuff that's missed out, like little details and stuff. It's like, how did you not fit all the details into like 10 hours of films? Like, they're some of the longest movies going around.
Yeah.
And like, you didn't fit all the details into that one. Like, they miss out major plot points.
With Treebeard.
With Treebeard, no.
Way too
Treebeard's
long.
The best.
No, it is the worst. I understand the idea that you're trying to convey that, these such long living like beings take a long time to deliberate and talk because they just live for long. Time passes in a different way for them.
Yeah.
But doing that in film, I only have a limited attention span.
But I think that's part of why they jump around between characters as well. So like total screen time, they maybe only have to spend 10 minutes with Treebeard.
Yeah, but it's so annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you read into those things a lot more than I do with film. Like even with like I know we've spoken about it on your podcast, but that's fine. Even with like Avengers,
the Raw Barber Club podcast,
with Avengers Endgame and that stuff and that sort of thing. Like you've read into, maybe that's because you're actually versed in like the comic side of it as well, like reading.
Well, it's because I'm a massive nerd.
Yes, that as well. Is that you've actually delved into delved in and read into like why things were done the way they were done, and actually thought about it. Whereas like I just enjoy the movie.
Yeah, but like that's fine too. It's just like these beers. To take it back to the start.
Yeah.
You don't have to know a lot about beers to be like, I like this beer, I don't like this beer.
Yes, that's true.
And that's kind of what this podcast is about as well.
Yeah,
uneducated opinions.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? You don't have to know a lot to have an opinion on something.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you just should probably keep it in your own head.
Yep, but in this podcast, we're going to put it out there.
Yes, on this podcast, we're going to put it out there.
That's probably not a bad spot to wrap up.
Yeah, I thought that was a good wrap up as well.
Cool. So we don't right now, but before we release it, we release the first one. We should have at least an Instagram page going, surely.
Yes.
So I might do that tonight.
Okay.
And then if we release, or maybe tomorrow, because we're going to the tonight. And then before we release this, we'll have an Instagram page. Don't know what it's called just yet, because we haven't looked it up. Hopefully something along the lines of an uneducated opinion.
Yeah. Or the Andy and Steve show.
Or the Andy and Steve show.
Steve and Andy show.
Steve and Andy sounds better, because I'm the alpha.
I don't mind. Call whatever you want.
All right.
Because secretly I'm the alpha.
Correct.
I don't care.
Because you know it, and that's all that matters. I think part of being the... Oh, fuck, we're not going again. All right.
But yeah, tell me what you're going to say.
I was going to say, I think part of being the alpha is like having that overshadowing dominance over other people, though. Like, I don't think that you can silently believe... don't think you can sit there and be like, I'll let you think I'm the alpha because I know I'm the alpha. Because that's kind of like... But then you're not the alpha. Because I really think the alpha is a community sense. It's not like a...
Yeah.
You're not the alpha because you think
but
you're
like,
the alpha.
you know, us two sitting here together, that's a community. Like, we've got a small little community now going.
I think it needs to be more than 2 people.
So, who do you think is the alpha? Or do we let the audience decide?
Yeah. Well, in this world, you're definitely the alpha. I'll give you that. I know, but as soon as we shut this podcast off, you get back in your place.
So guys, you can find me at Train with Andy on Instagram if you want to look up my personal page. And
at Steve Norman 250 is my personal page, and as I said, we'll try and have an Instagram page going before we release this one.
Awesome.
Cool.
Guys, we'll see you next time we record.
Hopefully next week. Yeah, should be.
Yeah. Thanks so much for actually spending the time to listen to this.
Yeah. If you got through that shit, then thank you, and listen to next week's one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
See ya. How long have we got?
We're almost at an hour.
Oh, cool. That's perfect.
Stop. I thought it said cancel. I'm like, why would they have a cancel button?
Cool.